I'm Dave Power, and I completed an online certificate program with RISD Continuing Education. I think of art as a way of losing track of time. And I think it's really good for the brain to get away from, for me, engineering and business things and be able to make something myself by my own hand, an image of something that was interesting to me. All my life, I've been a golfer. You have these experiences of a great hole, a great shot, a particular weather day, and you want to be able to capture it. You can do it with a photograph, but with a painting, you can give it that personality that tries to capture what the experience was. And my goal was to see if I could do that with watercolor. I started taking some continuing education classes locally, just dabbling, getting some equipment, and then I really wanted to take it to another level. RISD is well known as kind of the gold standard in art around here. And I was looking to expose myself to a lot of different ways of creating art, many different teachers with different techniques, even students who were grappling as I was, so that I could kind of push out, expand my repertoire, and then kind of bring it all back to my own craft of golf watercolor. Initially, I thought, well, can you learn art online? It turned out that doing these classes remotely, where you couldn't sort of put your hands on someone's art, really wasn't a barrier, because you'd be surprised at how much detail you can see when you're looking online at people's art. Generally speaking, you get the assignment on Monday, you have homework due on Sunday, and you operate within that pace. If you're smart, you get started right away, so you can do a few iterations, and you leave yourself a good amount of time on Saturday and Sunday afternoon for fine-tuning, and that became a part of how I operated, even as I was working full-time and had a family over actually several years. And I always had some art underway, and I kind of like that. I've really never had an art teacher or a professional artist as a teacher, and I really needed to switch into how they thought, what they said was important. Generally speaking, I had to slow down. The rest of my life is very kind of fast-paced, results delivered. And, it's just like, you got to plan these steps and see how the attention to detail, the thinking of art works. And that was an adjustment for me. The instructors are very deep in their discipline. The depth and the passion that each of them had for their area of the world, whether it's painting, abstraction, drawing, over the course of 18 or 20 instructors, that's a lot of richness that you're getting from people who are professionals in the field. I also really liked seeing what other classmates could do with the same assignment. My classmates were extremely diverse in age. In geography, they were dialing in from Alaska and South America and Europe. Their interests and what brought them. Some of my classmates were accomplished artists that were looking to add like a dimension to what they do. Others, like me, had some ideas. Some were wanting to get into an art career, and we critiqued each other's work and learned from that. You're not going to have people from Alaska and South America in your local classroom. In the course of doing all of this work, with great focus on each individual piece of work, each of us was exposed to different media, different way of thinking about composing, different ways to create detail and the imagery of creating, in two dimensions, the idea of pulling the story of nature into our artwork. And all those become kind of tools that are built into the way you think about making art. I think if someone's considering this program, first of all, I'd say, you can do this. There's great teachers, there's great supportive classmates. I've always looked at art from a distance, thinking that looks really cool, but I don't really have time for that. And I'm glad that I made time for it. I feel a little more like an artist than when I started the program. That's why I did this, to get that different perspective.